you know, that is something special, that is communicating with Holbein's spirit. Through the imagery he has created, you get in touch with his thinking, his personality, his bar, through his creations. It's Holbein's mummy, in a way, speaking to us. Holbein's Ushabti is his art. The silver star of Sirius is encoded in the Ushabti doll. It's buried in the Valley of the Gates of the Kings. Was Crowley punking us from the afterlife? 12 gates, hours of travel in the underworld? Hook and Flare. AA. Speaking to us from beyond the grave. I mean, are the spirits of these pharaohs hounding us till this day? Being that nothing seems to have changed. So here's their car being flushed down to Karnak, across the Nile, to bring the bar across, to reincarnate again, to bring the spirit back to life. The spirit that endures the ages. See, the spirit that creates these thoughts, what they do with 1 billion, this is a spirit. That's hounding humanity. It's a spiritual condition. And then I come across this thing here, where children remember past life stories. Which is quite interesting as well. So this is a very interesting story here at the end. This little girl seems to have had an experience in the ancient city of Heraklion. And I actually looked that up because I remembered when they were talking, they were saying this was like a city that was recently discovered underwater, but I realized, well, I thought initially, well, good God, Mandela effect or something here, yeah? Because I went to Greece when I was a young girl. Sorry, I needed a drink. And I remembered Heraklion was a city in Greece. And initially I thought, yeah, you know, this can't be true what that girl is saying. But then, if you sort of scroll through here, somewhere here it comes up that here the ancient name Heraklion was revived in the 19th century and comes from the nearby Roman port of Heraklion, Heracles city, whose exact location is unknown. Well, but then she says in here that it was discovered after 2001 or something, so I can well believe that. And it's just funny that all this seems to be lining up for me, like, you know, it's strange.
Me to believe that this was an ancient civilization. She was being very descriptive from the perspective of someone who lives there, not from the perspective of someone who imagined it or wrote a book about it. It was as if she could see herself doing the daily tasks that her life there involved.
It wasn't so much the words that Anna was using, it was more of the way she was saying it.
The more she spoke, the more I realized she was merely reporting what she had seen, and that there was a whole set of experiences and emotions that came with it. How could a little girl have all of this information about this ancient civilization? Anna's been reluctant to talk about this experience with a lot of other people. It's not something that kids normally talk about at school. It can be really lonely when you're the only one in your circle who has this type of experience. One day Anna told me about a traumatic event that happened involving an earthquake in her village. Anna told me that the earthquake was such that parts of the ground started to open and sands fell in and roofs started collapsing and much of the townspeople fled. And she described it very specific, as if she were witnessing it all over again. I was amazed. Anna has drawn several of her memories. One of the first things that she drew was islands where she used to live. It was as if she drew a map that she once saw when she was there.
Anna starts recalling spontaneously. The other morning, she woke up and said, I just remember the entire language. And she said, I don't know how, I don't know what's going on, but I need a piece of paper and a pen.
She drew them on a 3x5 card for me and began to
Go back a little bit. There's the A again, can you see that? Yeah, I mean, it seems to me as if we're getting more and more reports of these sort of things coming of late. Is that just me? Or are you observing the same?